Today I'm going to make some dill pickles. Okay, so what I have here to make the dill pickles with, I've got my cucumbers, obviously. Non-iodized canning salt. I have garlic. I have yellow mustard seed. Mixed pickling spice, which has mustard seed in it, but I like to add a little bit more. Dill seed, because my dill has not come to seed yet, so I had to buy some dill seed. And here I have grape leaves. Grape leaves are what give your homemade pickles some crunch. And I have dill leaf, which is fresh out of the garden. First thing I'm going to do is I have taken my cleaned jars and I'm going to put my spices and grape leaves in it before I put the cucumbers in it. Now I really don't measure things. I just kind of do. Now for a jar that's, you know, a pint size, that's about how much dill seed I put in it. I don't know what you would call that, maybe a tablespoon? Probably about a tablespoon. So I'm going to do that for all these. And I wish that I had some out of the garden, but they haven't. They're only starting to flower. Mustard seed. I don't know. About that much. What would you call that? Teaspoon? And my mixed pickling spice. Alright. About that much. In a pint jar. A little bit of salt. Now I would probably go with a teaspoon of non-iodized salt. If you get iodized salt, it's just going to turn your pickles an unpleasant color. It's perfectly safe to use iodized salt, it's just not going to give you as pretty of a product. Now garlic. A lot of garlic, so I would put one large clove or two smallish, like this clove, this size. I would use just one, but like these, I would use two per jar. Have my garlic, and I'm going to slice it up. It's a pretty good sized piece, so I will put just one in that jar. Okay, so I've got my spices and my garlic, and I'm going to start putting some dill leaves in, because I like a lot of dill. And it just depends on how much dilly flavor you like, but I'm gonna look like I'm overdoing it because I am. Because I really like the dill. Alright, stuff it down. Now I'm going to take my grape leaves and I'm going to shove it down there, just on top of all my spices. Probably 3 or 4 grape leaves about this size. More if they're smaller, like these. The more that you have, the crunchier your cucumbers are going to stay. Okay, here is my pot, and I need vinegar and water, and I do half vinegar and half water. I know a lot of people do a lot less vinegar, but I like them to be really vinegary, so just adjust it to your tastes. Or the quart jar. And if you wind up with a lot of this left over, just keep it. It'll keep just fine. And you can make your next batch of pickled whatever with it. Alright, now I'm going to get my water. I'm going to turn this on. I want to get this pretty much boiling. My water. I'm just going to let this heat while I cut up my cucumbers. Alright, so I'm going to take my cucumbers, figure out about how big I want them to be. Cutting these longer ones in half will probably do it. They are washed and ready to go. Cutting the ends off. Got all the spiky bits off. We'll cut this in half. That should be just the right size. Just stuff your jar with as many as you can get in there. And you want to leave a little bit of head space. I think I got as many in there as I'm going to get. If they're extra seedy, just cut off the seeds. Any little bits that you have left over from slicing them so that they'll fit in your jar, you can keep these to make relish with. Alright, so I think I have these jars as stuffed as they will go. So I'm now going to heat up the water to water bath can these. And I've got my vinegar water, it's already been boiling, so I will put that in here. I'm going to warm, not boil, these jar lids in some hot water. Here are my jars. This is my vinegar water, and it was boiling. I'm going to put that in my jars. Making sure to leave some head space in your jar. water warming over here for my lids. You do not want to boil your lids. You just want to warm them so that the seal is softened. So that your rubber seal is softened. And that's warm enough. I have this nifty thing. It's a magnet to get your lids out of the hot water with. Just want to leave them in there for just a little bit. Not too long. Just, I don't know, maybe 30-40 seconds. Make sure that your rims are clear of any debris before putting your lid on. Tighten your ring, finger tight, not too tight. While I'm doing this, I have water heating in my canner for the hot water bath. Now while I'm doing this, I have some water heating in my canner for the hot water bath. You want your water to cover your jars by at least 1.5 inches or so, so I'm going to need to add some water to this. So once this is up to boiling, I'm going to boil it for 10 minutes. Alright, the water has started to boil, so I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. And now we wait. And we have pickles.